Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber. My name is Alexandra. I am a 28-year-old zero-based cash budgeter living within the Sonoran Desert. If you are interested in budgeting content, then please consider subscribing and hitting that post notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a video. In today's video, we will be going over a few things. First, what I want to do is I want to show you my budget binders, the new layout that I have them in for 2023. I didn't make very many changes, but I did remove a few envelopes and kind of switch things around in different binders depending on their priority in a way that makes sense to me. I started my cash budgeting journey in October of 2022, so I have been doing it for about a quarter of the year. And so from my experience, I did want to make some tweaks just to make it make more sense. In addition to going over my new budget layout, I will be discussing my 2023 resolutions, both personal and financial. When I go over them, I'd love to see what some of your resolutions are in the comments. And lastly, and most excitingly, I will be going over my Q4 update. So starting in October when I started the cash envelope budgeting system, all the way until December, going over how much I was able to save in both my sinking funds as well as my savings challenges. And guys, I did the math before this video so that I wouldn't be unprepared for the video. And I found out the total that I was able to save and I was shocked. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the budget binders. Hi, mamas. And we have a special guest here today. This is Marie. She's made a few appearances and I tried locking her out of my room before filming and she was not having it, and it broke my heart too much to hear her meowing. So hopefully she doesn't knock anything over or become too annoying to you guys. You'll see me kind of pushing her over from here and there. But so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Before I do that, I will show you what I've taken out of my binders. So I've had these little tables of contents that were in each of the 4 colored binders, just as a cheat sheet for when I open it to know where the envelopes are quickly. So I did take these out because the order in which I have my envelopes now is different than what it used to be. These are laminated. The ones that I made to reorganize my binders are still just paper, so I do need to laminate them. But in my black binder, which is my bills binder, I only made a few changes as well. I only made a few changes in here just in terms of the order of the envelopes, as well as the amount that I will be planning on stuffing them with each week, just in a way that makes more sense for my budget. My rent is still in the front. I have electric, internet, phone. My subscriptions, I did change the amount on this from $23 that I put in bi-weekly to $20 just because I did cancel my Amazon Prime. I know I don't need the full $20, but it will be nice to have some extra cash to set aside in my month ahead that I don't end up using. My car insurance, I moved further up in the binder as it is a greater priority. Student loans I pushed back just because we're on a payment pause right now. Taxes, I was kind of playing around with the idea of keeping it in here or moving it into a sinking fund binder, but I do consider taxes to be something that I know that I need to tell myself that I pull money out each time I get paid for. Like for each paycheck, I do need to contribute in here, whether I think I need to or I don't. So that's why I'm leaving it in my bills binder. And I also am leaving in my miscellaneous in my bills binder. Even though it's not a bill, it does make sense for me to have a few, spare dollars in here, just in case any of my bills, like my electric, goes higher than what I'm planning for. I can pull the money from here. And lastly, I have my debt payoff puzzle in here, which I know is not something that I actually stuff, but it is a nice location for me to hold this tracker in because I do treat my credit card debt as a bill that needs to be paid. In a few weeks, this will be down to 0, and then I will be able to remove it at the end of that payoff, which, guys, I am so excited. I'm almost paid off my credit card debt. It's a big deal. All right, so this is my high priority sinking fund binder. You will see on here the list of the 10 different envelopes I have in here. And then in the parentheses, I have a goal amount of money. So I will be stuffing these until they reach that. So my cart upkeep, I'll be putting money in until it's at 1,000. And then when it's at 1,000, I know, okay, I don't need to put more money in here. I can start focusing on my other goals, if that makes sense. This one did have quite a few that changed. So my cart upkeep stayed the same. My health and medical stayed the same. My work spending ended up moving into this binder. My gifts and my holidays are in here, which holidays is also for Christmas. My date nights moved in here. Marie, which is this lovely feline right here, she moved into my high priority. I believe she was in my low priority before. And I'm sorry, mamas, you're high priority to me. Restaurants also moved up from low priority. And my babe, which is my partner's sinking funds, he moved up into this one as well. He was in low priority and he's obviously a high priority for me, so I'm moving him up here. For those of you who watched my last video, you know that we just celebrated his birthday. So I had $226 in here, and now I'm only at $6 because we went out to a really nice dinner and it was a really good time. And I'm really looking forward to getting that stuffed up again. Another one that we added in here, which is a totally new envelope, I didn't have it before, is for Costco, just to help me plan for when we go to resupply on our proteins, as well as anything that we only need to buy like once every couple of months. That way that money doesn't come out of my weekly grocery money. Otherwise, I've been realizing the past 3 months I've really kind of been struggling with saving up money for Costco and trying to ration my weekly cash spending for my groceries while also going to Costco trips. So I'm hoping that this will help. And that is it for my high priority sinking fund binder. Excuse me. I'm sorry, you guys. I am still getting over my sickness, so my voice is a little shaky and I feel like I'm out of breath right now just trying to have a normal conversation. So I do apologize for that. My gray binder is my low priority sinking funds. So again, I have my table of contents with the goals that ideally in a perfect world I would be at. Obviously, I'm nowhere close to those right now, but I am working towards them. So wardrobe wasn't my high priority, excuse me. I moved it into my low priority just because it's really not a priority for me in this stage of my life. Household, I also moved from my high priority to low priority just because I don't really need things too often for my household. Side hustle, which is my savings envelope for my journey here on YouTube as well as over on Etsy, I moved into my low priority. I have my dental as well as my glasses and contacts, which is low priority just because they don't come up very often. Toiletries, I moved to low priority. Coffee restock stayed here. Beauty stayed here. And transportation and sick day all stayed in my low priority binder. Something I do want to say about beauty is that I did totally get rid of my haircut envelope. And my plan is I don't really get my haircut more than once every 1.5 years or 2 years. So it's not something that I really need taking up space in my binders. So my plan is when I know I want to get a haircut, I'll just start stuffing my beauty envelope more and use this as sort of, you know, for skincare, for makeup, as well as for hair care. So we will see how that works. But as of right now, this is what my low priority binder looks like. We're gonna move into my blue binder, which is my savings binder or my long-term sinking funds. So I have my travel, which is staying right here in the front. I have my emergency fund, which has stayed the same. My new tires, my moving fund, and my month ahead all stayed the same. And this is one that I have not been stuffing yet, but I did move the placement of it. So for furniture, I will be moving soon in April, and I do need to start saving for a new couch and probably a few other things. So that one will be something new that I have to start stuffing here pretty soon. And then I moved my electronics from, I think it was my high priority sinking fund binder to my savings goal binder, just because I'm not saving for anything in specific. I don't need anything right now, but phones can be expensive. They can be up to like $1,000. So I am starting to set some money aside for that right now. And because it is a long-term goal, I thought it would make more sense to keep it in my bigger savings binder goal. My bigger savings binder. And then the last one we have in here is my special events, which we still haven't stuffed, but I want to start putting money aside for friends and family's weddings, for parties, and then kind of planning for the own events that I might have in my future, which hopefully, you know, I'll start getting able to stuff that this year in 2023. And oh boy, you guys, I am so tongue-tied right now. I just need to take like a deep breath. Bear with me, you guys. I apologize. Do you guys ever have those days where you're just running back to back to back to back, doing all these different tasks and talking to people and, you know, being pulled in so many different directions that when you finally have a chance to sit down and do something for yourself, it's like your brain is just playing, I don't know, like playing tennis with itself and running from one side of the court to the next. And I just can't keep track of my words right now. So I apologize for that. But you know, I feel like we all have these days, so I'm not gonna feel too bad about it. Before I go into my savings challenge binder, I will say that I also removed this savings tracker just because I'm working on a few other pretty big savings challenges right now. And I think if I take this out of my binder, it'll just make it feel less stressful working towards my other goals. I also removed my retirement folder because I get my retirement automatically deducted from my paychecks. And as of this time right now, I would rather save up for a future home than for my retirement, besides what I'm already automatically contributing. As well as I removed my future home envelope, which I know I just said I'm saving up for the future home. But I'm doing that in a savings challenge, which I'll show you guys right now. So in my Daisy binder, which is my savings challenges binder, I am starting it off with the 52-week challenge, which I just started in 2023. I have my 50 envelope challenge, which I got a little bit of a head start in 2022. I have my Save Your Age challenge, my new car fund, my monthly savings challenge, my Amazon Prime annual fee, which I'll go over this in a minute, my rainy day fund, and lastly, my 15,000 savings challenge, which is the envelope that I am using for my future home. So instead of having two envelopes for the same thing, I'm just gonna keep it at this one. And this folder for my Amazon Prime annual fee, I know I've said it multiple times. I did just recently cancel my Amazon Prime membership, or well, technically I paused it, so I'm not paying for it right now. Just because I don't really order things from them too often, it didn't really seem worth it. So I'm gonna use this as a segue into transitioning to what my goals are, my resolutions are for 2023. And I have two personal goals. Goal number one, which is easily attainable, and I love attainable goals. But my goal number one is to drink at least 50 ounces of water a day. You know, which is, it's kind of hard for someone like me who likes to drink tea and coffee and everything but water, but I've been doing pretty good so far. I think I've only missed one day in January, and we're on, I think today is January 18th, which is amazing. My goal number two for my personal reasons is to cancel my Amazon Prime membership, which I've done, and then to use this money that I've had saved for the annual fee to subscribe to a Babbel membership. So my goal is starting in February, which is when I plan on getting the membership. I want to start practicing my Spanish at least, 5 days out of the week. So hopefully by the end of this year, I'll become more fluent and be able to comprehend more Spanish. I do work in a school where a lot of the kids are Spanish speaking only. And so I am hoping that this will help me out professionally as well as personally. I do travel a lot to Spanish speaking countries, and I hate feeling like I don't belong in places, and I hate feeling like people think that I'm not making an effort. So I think by building my confidence in Spanish, I'll become more confident in myself. So we'll see. I hope that I can stick to that goal. I do have a few goals financially for 2023. Excuse me. Actually, I'll keep this out because this has to do with my goals. So my goals for 2023 financially are to finish my 52-week challenge. I do get paid on a bi-weekly basis, so I do not get 52 paychecks. I get 26 paychecks a year. So my goal is to fill in, 1 to 3 of these boxes each paycheck so that I do finish by the time December 31st rolls around. I also want to finish my 50 envelope challenge by the end of this year. I think I'm well on track to doing so, but I do only stuff this with my rollover wallet money. So from my groceries and my gas, those are the only funds that I use to stuff this with. So it is a little bit harder of a challenge to make sure that I am especially able to get these bigger numbers. And the last one goal that I have for 2023, excuse me, is to fully fund my emergency fund, which is in this long-term savings goal. Right now, my emergency fund in my envelope and in my high yield savings account has $1,550. My goal is to be at $6,600 because that's roughly 3 times of my monthly expenses. I will say with this, I do have a CD account that is about to lapse with a little over 4K in it. So I am pretty sure that I will be able to hit this goal by the time 2023 rolls around. But then if I do hit it, then the goal is to keep that in my emergency fund. And so if I have to pull from it, I do want to keep the balance at $6,600. So I will be needing to continually monitor that. And that is it for my goals for 2023. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any personal or if you have any financial goals or resolutions that you want to work on this year. I would love to hear what yours are. And without further ado, we are going to jump into the next part of this video, which is the most exciting part personally, because I will be going over how much money I've been able to save in 2022 since I started the cash envelope system, which was October 7th. So quarters are 3 months at a time. So quarter 4 is typically from October to the end of December. So technically I did not even get the full quarter. I started a week into October. So I did the math already, but I'm going to show you guys how much I was able to save. So let me zoom you guys in. Okay. So I printed this out, but for my sinking funds, you guys, this is just my sinking funds. I was able to save a total of $1,678. So as you can see, this is my starting balance and my ending balance for the quarter. And then in this column, I have the difference, which I don't have a color printer at work. It only prints black and white, but these are all green, meaning these are all profit. Like a positive balance change. So because I started at 0, because I started the cash envelope system entirely new in October, whatever I ended with was all profit. So as you can see, for each category I have, I went from 0 to 270, 0 to 10, etc., for a total of $1,600, a little over $1,600 in my sinking funds that I was able to save. This is where the real magic happened, you guys. This is my savings goal. So I have travel, emergency tires, moving, etc., etc. I also have my savings challenges that I had to count through. You'll see my starting balance. So I did have some money saved already. My travel started with $760 and my emergency fund started with $1,376. So in my travel now, it's a negative balance. I did recently get back from a vacation, so I am down $60 from what I had initially. I have $700. So you can see this one's a little bit darker, and that's because it was supposed to be highlighted red for me to obviously see that I was negative. And then these ones are all green. So my emergency, I was able to save an extra $174. Tires, I was able to save $60. My moving, I was able to save $1,180. My 15K challenge, which is for my future home, I was able to save $340, $285 in my 50 envelope challenge, $50 in my week 2, $35 in my rainy day challenge, and $235 in my month ahead. And then my Save Your Age Challenge, I was able to save $84, and my new car fund, I was able to save $425. So if you add all these up and then subtract the $60 that I went down in travel, that's a total of $4,884.90 that I was able to save just with my savings goals in my quarter 4 of 2022. Make sure this is still in frame. Oh, I don't know if that was in frame, guys. I'm sorry. So we have my total for my savings goals, and we have my total for my sinking funds. So if you look up here, I do have my grand total. You guys, I'm freaking out. I don't know how I was able to do it. It didn't seem like I was saving that much money in this quarter, but my grand total saved is $6,562.90. Oh my gosh, you guys, how is that possible that you can save that much in 3 months? Before I started this cash envelope system, it was impossible for me to even save $300. Now I will say, within these past 3 months, I did get one bonus paycheck from my employer, and I did get a unexpected paycheck of about $900 from elsewhere. So I did have some unplanned money, like some extra bonus money coming in during this quarter. So I do contribute a lot of that growth just due to that reason. And I will say that my moving funds, let me zoom you guys back out. I will say that my moving funds, it does have a little over 1,000 in it, and I will be moving here pretty soon. So I'm guessing by the next quarter when it rolls around, I might be negative a little bit more than I was in this quarter 4. But you guys, like I need to give myself a round of applause on this one. I need to give myself a pat on the back. I have come from a family that did not teach me how to do finances at all. You know, I feel so blessed and so lucky that I stumbled across this community here on YouTube, which is what inspired me to cash envelope stuff in the first place, because I know for 100% certain that this system has changed my life and will continue to change my life for the best. And I hope that if you guys are watching this video and you're new in the process, or you're struggling financially, that you can see this and know that this isn't something I could have ever pictured for myself. This method really does work. And so I hope that you're willing to give it a shot, or I hope that you're willing to continue to put in the hard work of budgeting, because, you know, no one said it was easy, but when you see numbers like this, it really does pay off, and it really does, you know, give you that gratification, that satisfaction that you need to keep going. So let me know if you guys do quarterly updates. I would love to hear what you guys have been able to save up in quarter 4, or even in 2022, if you've been cash stuffing for the whole year. I would love to hear your progress. I would love to hear your growth. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. As always, please consider subscribing to my channel for more content. Your support helps me out so much, you guys, so much. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will be back with a cash stuffing video next week, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, and I wish you nothing but good health and good wealth. Bye-bye.